Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Literature Show. The Literature Show is designed to talk about books, topics, authors, and ideas, tackling one at a time. My name is George Matos. I'm the host, creator, and producer of the Literature Show. Tonight, we're honoring Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451.
I wish we had a fourth wall. Guy doesn't think it's important, but it is. Heavens, no one watches television on only 3 walls. It's uncivilized. Everybody knows that.
In his book, Fahrenheit 451, science fiction writer Ray Bradbury imagined a future where books were outlawed and television has become the main source of entertainment, with screens that occupy entire walls of each wall in a room, virtually surrounding the room's occupant with whatever fantasy is currently playing. The woman seated, the one you just heard from, Mildred Montag, is part of that world. Mildred's greatest desire for now is to have a fourth wall, that is, a fourth television wall, installed in her home. What she doesn't know, however, is that she's about to receive a visitor who will challenge everything that she believes in, books and reading, a challenge which can be very dangerous in this world. Now let's rejoin Mildred in the kitchen of her home.
Barbaric. Living without a fourth wall. Barbaric. Heavens, is someone knocking at my door? I'm not expecting anyone. Maybe it's Guy come home early. But why would he knock? He has a key. Perhaps he's lost it? Come in, Guy. The door's open. I'm in here, Guy. Did you lose your keys?
Sorry, I'm not Guy. Were you expecting him?
I can see you're not Guy. Heavens, that's obvious. I'm not expecting Guy, although I fear he may have lost his keys. Who are you?
I'm your new neighbor, Clarice. I picked these for you. May I sit down?
Who are you? What are those? Why would you do that?
I'm Clarice. They're flowers. I picked them myself. They brighten any home. I wanted to bring a gift.
Seems like an odd thing to do, actually picking flowers. You know what would really brighten up this home is a fourth wall. Don't you agree? Doesn't this room just need a fourth wall?
I don't think this room needs more televisions at all. It would be better if there were no televisions in here or anywhere else in the house for that matter.
What? Who are you?
I'm Clarice, your new neighbor.
Well, Clarice, you're obviously a child, but there's no excuse for ignorance. What do you think people would do without television? There would be a total lack of information given to the public. And more importantly, what would we all do for entertainment? Without television, I fear we would all simply die of boredom.
Well, my family doesn't have a television, and we're not bored at all.
You poor dear. You mean you've never seen? You've never watched? You've never...
No, probably no.
Poor dear. Maybe I can help you.
Or maybe I can help you.
As you've just viewed, Mildred has been challenged by Clarice. Now we'll go into another world where television is existing. Mildred's husband, Guy Montag, is a fireman. In the world, firemen are not men who put out fires. What they do, they go around and burn books and literature. And we'll discover what's going on in Mildred's homes with her husband, Guy.
You can't take this personal. It was his decision to burn, not ours.
Does that make us any less responsible for the act?
Of course it doesn't. We're fully responsible. Responsible to the law, responsible to our families and our way of life, and most of all, responsible to the citizenry. It's our duty to use the cleansing fire to burn away the scourge of society.
You know that's not what I meant.
Around here, that better be all that you mean. Look, let's take a look at this rashly, okay?
Okay.
Good. First fact, reading or owning books is against the law. Second, every citizen knows the law. Third, Calvin Anastari was a citizen of legal age and therefore must know the law.
He was barely over 21, just a kid. He reminds me of the young girl who lives next door to me.
Granted, he was young, but youth is no excuse in the eyes of the law, which, by the way, you and I are sworn to enforce. Now, where was I? So the kid, and I'll grant that he was a kid, but he was of legal age and knew the law. Finally, he made the choice to burn with his books. Nobody pushed him into the fire, Guy. Just the opposite. You did all that you could to stop him.
Yeah, really?
You did much more than you should have.
I guess, maybe.
Look at me, Guy. I've watched you too. I mean, I really watched you. The way you pulled at his shoulder, straining to drag him away. The way he fought you tooth and nail, his hands beating against your chest, pounding you with all he was worth. And the way he even reached inside your uniform jacket, it almost looked as if he was trying to pick the breast pocket off your shirt. Or maybe stuff something inside, maybe plan his own incendiary device. It's the youth nowadays. They don't take to the straight and narrow, the path of the right. It's as if they stand in the woods where the roads diverge and believe that by taking the road less traveled it will make a difference. Well, it does. But this society abhors the difference, and it's our job to weed it out and burn it from the face of the earth. You remember that, guy. Remember your duty and stay on the straight and narrow.
And why did you give this to me?
Guy Montag looks like he's keeping secrets. The other gentleman was Captain Beatty of the fire department.
There, now wasn't that a delightful program? I especially like the way they use real people in their homes as characters. You know, I may be in a television play myself very soon. Perhaps you can come here and watch it with me.
You can't be serious. That was the most horrible thing I've ever seen. The actors, if they can really be called that, had no feeling for the story. It was like watching mannequins being moved around in a store window.
Story? What story? Dear girl, television isn't about stories. That would be boring and make no sense at all. Television is about people. Beautiful people who come into your home and surround you wearing fabulous clothing, all with the latest fashions and with beautiful hair, teeth, skin, nails.
Exactly. They were all mannequins.
Well, dear, what would you have them do?
Well, for one, they could tell a story.
Tell a story. Heavens, what for?
For entertainment? That's what stories do. They entertain and enlighten and inform.
My dear, that's what they did. Beautiful people wearing beautiful clothing entertains.
And what about enlighten and inform?
Well, I certainly was enlightened. Did you see the hem of Deidre's dress in the show? Obviously, women's hems will be a lot shorter this year. And as for information, scrolling across the bottom of the screen was a list of stores where one could purchase the dress, along with the price. Although, I thought it was a bit much.
But that's not information. That's marketing. The entire show was one big advertisement.
Yes, and wasn't it marvelous?
No, it was horrible. There was no story.
Dear, I don't know what you expected to see. However, I blame your guardians. They've obviously deprived you of the finer things in life for so long that I fear you simply have no taste. Maybe if you come over here every day and watch television with me.
Is this what you watch every day?
Heavens, of course not. Each show has different characters, each more beautiful than the last, and the clothes are always bright.
But never a real story?
What is it with you and stories? Fashion and beauty are all that's needed to make a hit show.
Can I tell you something?
Go right ahead, dear.
Okay. There once was a young man named Romeo. Romeo was tall and rich and handsome. Every girl in the city wanted to become his wife, but he never married.
Well, go on. Why? Why didn't he fall in love?
Oh, I didn't say he never fell in love. Romeo was the prince of love, and his princess was named Juliet.
Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. Tell me, was she pretty?
Oh, Juliet was pretty. In Romeo's eyes, her beauty was the morning sun shining through the windows of his heart. Her eyes carried the light of his soul, her full lips the storehouse of his life's blood.
Both of them young and beautiful. And he was a prince, you say?
Yeah.
But I don't understand. Why didn't they marry?
I'm getting to that. Would you like to hear about Juliet's shoes?
Her shoes? Were they very nice? Did she have very many pairs? But wait, maybe you can tell me about the shoes after why you told me why the poor girl didn't marry her prince.
Because of their families.
Families?
Yeah, their families didn't want them to be married.
Two beautiful young people and their families don't want them to marry? Why not? There must be something more to this. Is there something you're not telling me?
There's a whole lot I'm not telling you.
Heavens, why not? Tell me everything.
Well, Romeo and Juliet's parents owned conflicting businesses. They were in competition with each other for so long that their feud naturally spilled out to from their business lives into their day-to-day.
So, the parents forbid them to marry. And like good offspring, they obeyed their parents. Too bad. But in the end, it shows that they were good children. Now you can tell me about the shoes.
There was one other little thing.
What?
Romeo and Juliet weren't that obedient.
Then there's more to this? Tell me.
Juliet's shoes were all handmade by the finest...
No, don't tell me about the shoes. Tell me the rest of the...
The story? Tell you the rest of the story?